Welcome to South Park Events. I'm the founder of South Park Events. Used to be a hard copy for about 20 years throughout the entire community. Now it's solely online as of last month. And this is my partner and daughter, Kylie, who has been a big help in having the online version out for everyone. This is for those of you who live in the area. It's if you're planning to move here, if you want to visit here, if you don't even you just want to know about South Park. Even if you're not in the area, you don't plan to come to South Park. This website, southparkevents.com, has a lot of information that would be helpful to you, even beyond what's in South Park. So, the main purpose of this, we'll get right to the purpose of this video, is to tell you about the feature of the month, which is a unique part where you get to know the community within South Park. You get to know people and businesses within South Park that you may not know already, even if you live here. So every month there'll be a new feature of the month, and this is our first one, and so we'll go right into it. Here's the feature of the month.
Check it out.
Hi, Kristen. I don't know if she can see us yet. Looks like she can.
I can see you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you.
I can hear you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being the first person for us to interview.
Oh,
Yeah,
I feel so honored. So thanks for having me. Really, thank you.
Oh man, you know, I have to. This is a segue into having to just mention the part. I was going to go right into the questions on your business side, Kristen, but I got to just mention that how this all got started with being even online is because, Kristen, you had contacted me, and it makes it just seem so the way it should be and appropriate that you are the first one to be a part of this, because you had called me about revamping a website, which was so needed. It was really old, and you were so involved in nonprofit, and it was so a big deal to you, and really important to you on getting the word out about nonprofits. And so we figured this was a good avenue, and you and I got together and started in that direction. But you're the instigator that had me getting started with that, and so that was a big piece of us being to where we are now. So I'm
Thank you. Yeah, guilty as charged.
Yes. All right. So the first thing is a little bit about yourself. Share whatever you want to share a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are now in this journey to where you are currently, work-wise and just overall.
So I actually grew up here in Park County. Both of you obviously know that, but there's probably a lot out there that don't. And I was really excited to get out of here I turned 18, right? Like 3 days before I moved to college. I was always the baby, the youngest. But now, anyway, time is a great equalizer. But I moved away right after high school and went to a semester of college before going to massage therapy school. I was having some health issues at the time, and massage therapy school just seemed more in alignment with what I could commit to. And it was also a natural gift I had even as a child. I've always been kind of touching people. I mentioned on my website how my dad used to always make me sit behind him in the car when we drove places so that I could rub his neck and shoulders. And I went out and did all sorts of life things, and woke up in Denver one morning and realized I had kind of made it to the top of my job at the time, and I didn't want to go into management. And I thought, what did I enjoy when I was young? And skiing in the mountains was that thing that brought me back to South Park. I know I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but it's part of the story.
Yeah.
So I got back here in February of 2011, and I spent a few years working in the restaurant industry, as well as property management. And I kind of became a workaholic and burnt myself out. And at some point was like, I'm done. there's got to be a better way. I was driving over to Summit County on a regular basis for work, so probably 5 or 6 days a week. And it just started to all feel like too much. I had invested into Park County, but I wasn't really living here. I was sleeping here. And I was spending the rest of my life on the other side of the pass. And I wanted to be able to spend time with the people and Kita, and I had bought a home by then. And I was like, why am I spending my whole life in my car in Summit County when I have this beautiful place? I can find a way to survive there. So I got out of property management at the time and went back to the service industry because I knew that I didn't have to make that much money to cover my overhead and that I'd figure it out. And within the year, I was introduced to bioelectric massage at from the Fairplay Therapy Center and an opportunity to learn it and to work there and help out. It was a really great honor and feels like I found what came naturally to me, and I finally see its value and that I can support myself that way. Because when I was younger as a massage therapist, I was like, this is too hard. I have to work way too hard to support myself doing this. But it doesn't feel hard anymore.
It's so cool to see like something come full circle. Because even when you were saying that when you were just a little girl, you know, rubbing your dad's shoulders and everything, and now you got reintroduced to, you know, the massage therapy in South Park where you were finding home again. It's just so cool to see that full circle or come full circle.
Thank you.
I agree.
Yeah.
It definitely
when you were
feels
traveling,
like home here.
Yeah. When you were traveling to Breckenridge all the time or to Summit County, did you feel like you had time to go skiing even in the midst of all that either? So like moving back to the mountains, you kind of like that was a love of yours, but even up in the mountains, it sounds like work was kind of taking the forefront of the focus. So yeah, that's cool to see you see that, like, you know, that reflection of I actually need to, you know, stop and do you basically, you know. That's really neat.
Yeah.
One thing also, Kristen, that I noticed, and I know you've mentioned this a couple of times, we've just talked in the past, is that not only it seems like you're in the place you want to be, but the that this is your niche. It seems like it's you've mentioned that before with rubbing your dad's back and all, but it seems like however you phrased it, it was like, I feel like I am doing what I was meant to do. Like this is true what I enjoy doing and your passion. That's what I got from you when I've talked to you in the past.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with both of you. And it definitely feels like just natural talent that, you know, I ran from it for a long time because it's kind of scary to really throw yourself into, like, I guess there's a vulnerability to it, right? And I think you both can relate to this. Living in a small town, people already know more about you than you maybe want on a regular basis. And so to really just like authentically do your damnedest to be you 100% of the time was something I wasn't ready for when I was younger. I kind of had to build up the courage for that, I think. And so now at 35 to be really, I've had my own company for a while. I actually started my first LLC in 2012, and I've since just changed the name of that company to this one. My grandmother also passed away in 2012, so I kind of was on this projection to do some stuff, and then she passed away, and I became the executor of her estate. And so things just slowed down for a while.
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it's all a gift too, you know, that other company wouldn't have made me nearly as happy as this does. So
And
yeah,
it's,
and
Yeah.
now I'm getting my own space.
I think when you came back, like in going back to where you left, and then you came back to South Park, and you mentioned being in a small town area where everyone knew you before, not everyone, but those that knew you before, and then see you now. There's I imagine a transition also where you're not the same person in some ways that you were then. There's change that happens and growth that happens, and that's an adjustment, I think, for others also to see. Wow, this seeing you come to your place of where you are as well, which is cool. It's like a blossoming, a really cool blossoming that we can all be a part of, watching also you in the process. I mean that very sincerely. You just like such a grown woman and on your own, and like you said, the vulnerability, very cool that you went beyond that, and you went and just went out and did it and are doing it. Very cool.
Baby steps. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say.
So,
I'm not taking any
Kristen,
giant leaps here.
yeah, could you explain a little bit about biotherapy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and if I could add into that, if you could also include in that, Kristen, like going into, for example, your vision of the company and what you're doing, as far as what it is, what you look at that, like what that looks like, what your vision is for South Park, for the community, and offering the community how that's going to look.
yeah. So bioelectric therapy is, it's like massage with a gentle electrical impulse. So if you've ever experienced like a TENS unit before, how there's like the sticky electrodes and they go
Mhm.
above and below a joint usually, and then it causes muscle contraction. So
Mhm.
I use a machine with larger electrodes. Instead of being sticky, there's a sponge and I get it wet. And so the water becomes the conductor. And typically my client lays on top of them. And then I stand on the positive side. So when I touch them and we're all touching the electrodes, it completes the circuit. And the current gets pulled out of my fingertips into the client and back to the electrodes. Usually, like if you're laying on your stomach, they're on your tummy, right? And
Mhm.
so it's really incredible. The bioelectric therapy can go 5 to 7 inches into the tissue deep, where with my manual hands-on, I can maybe get 3 with an elbow, and it's pretty uncomfortable. If anybody's ever come at you with one of these pointy guys,
Yeah.
it's not so fun. Um,
Mm-mm.
so the bioelectric therapy will create sometimes some muscle contraction, but really it's like a wavelength that goes through and is kind of speaking to the tissue and telling it to let go and to release and to not, because our body tends to create holding patterns from what we do on a regular basis. So if we're a driver, if we're a computer, if we're a phoner, if we're,
Mhm.
so a lot of
Yeah.
those things pull you down and in. Um, but anyway, so our body will try to hold us in the position that we stay frequently, but that doesn't always serve us in terms of alignment and structure and the force of gravity, right? Gravity, that's the
Mhm.
big one.
Yep.
Um, so anyway, it helps to kind of reset the muscle tissue more to its anatomical position, while also, uh, I think to me, it's like a soft reset. I don't know.
So like it works with the muscles, not necessarily with the skin. Is that right? Like
Right. So all I have to do is make contact to the skin, but it works with the muscles and really the circulatory system and the central nervous system. So if you think about how the body works, we are an electrical system.
mhm.
So bioelectricity is actually the natural electricity that all of our cells run on anyway. So all we're doing is we're helping charge the body's natural batteries so that it can recover from its stuff better. It helps restore
Mm.
natural function
Okay.
because we're basically recharging the battery
So
and
like,
also
Yeah.
helping reset the structure, the anatomical position of things.
okay. And you could do that to any part of the body. It's
Yeah,
like if you have any kind of issues. Okay. Does it
yeah,
get
it's safe.
does it get rid
Sorry.
of wrinkles? I was just gonna say, does it get rid of wrinkles? Probably not. I'm kidding.
No, it does. It does.
That,
I've actually done some really incredible facials.
really?
Yeah, in fact, if you ever want one and you're willing to be photographed,
Ah, I'm willing
we
to
can
dip
show a
into
before and
everything.
after.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'd be down. I'll show
But
you.
I said I didn't really realize that. That's cool to know.
Yeah, I use it more for like pain purposes. You know,
Yeah.
usually people come to me
Yeah.
because they're uncomfortable in their skin,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And that can be and we hold those on different levels, right? So we hold our emotions in our bodies, and that's why I've added body mind coaching to my business, because I really think that it's, if we really want to feel better, we have to look inside and listen to the different signs that are going off. Like if you think about it like a car, like if you have your check engine light or your oil light, or you know, any of those lights comes on your dash, and you just keep on driving for another 100,000 miles because it's going to be
Mhm.
okay, at some point you're probably going to end up on the side of the road somewhere with your thumb out, you know.
Yeah.
It's such
And
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's holistic
so
care is what it is. Like holistic, the whole, not just a part, but really holistic. Taking each part
yeah,
together.
Yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
remind you that like you're the healer. Like you come to me for guidance, but like it takes you listening to your body, to your alerts, to your pain, your discomfort, your feelings and emotions, right? Like what are you really like holding on to? What's actually weighing you down and causing, like, do you have somebody in your life that you constantly say is a pain in your backside? Well, do
Mhm.
you also have a pain in your backside? Like maybe it's just the thought process, right? It's about an awareness. But when we connect the body and the mind and we start using them together, we can really move forward in a with a mindset of wellness, and we can enjoy our lives, and it overflows into all the other areas of your life.
Oh,
So that's what I love about what I do,
yeah.
is that when you feel better, you're more likely to show up as your best self to the world. And that's
Absolutely.
what my vision is really for my community and for myself and for my clients is, you know, I considered paramedic school when I was younger because I can kind of delegate, and I can deal with blood. I can do it. But something told me, like, do you really want to spend your days with people on their worst day?
Hmm.
Mm.
That
What a
doesn't
great
resonate with
question.
me.
Hmm.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's a beautiful job, and I'm so grateful that there are people out there willing to do it. Thank you.
Yeah.
But that is not my path.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to help people live their best days and their best lives and be their best selves. Because when you're good to you, when you love you, when you appreciate and value you, you show up for your family better. You show up
Mhm.
for yourself. You show up for your work. You show up for your community. You make the world a better place by being authentically you.
Hmm.
And
That's
that's what
so
I like to help
nice.
people do.
That's very well said.
I love the way that you said that.
Yeah, I do too. That basically sums it up. And it does have, when you mentioned about the whole having to do with what we have going on beyond the physical, is like the aspect, the thing that happens if we don't pay attention to the other, what's going on within here and within our emotions and all. If we don't pay attention to those and aren't attuned to listening to those, then it's going to come out in our physical. It's got to come out somehow. So it's really cool that you combine all of that, Because if you take care of the physical, it's only going to last so long if you don't take care of the core of where that's coming from and how that really even originates.
Kristen, do you feel sometimes when you're working with a client for the first time, or even like the first couple of sessions, do you feel like there's sometimes it's hard for that person to let down their guard, if you will, or their barrier? Because in society, we mostly live off of just common courtesies, like when we're passing somebody, it's hi, how are you, I'm good, hi, how are you, I'm good, when that person might not actually be good, so but it's almost a hassle to let somebody in sometimes, or it's no, I don't want someone to know about the emotions that I've had or the traumas that I've had. Do you feel like sometimes it takes a little bit for somebody to allow that healing process to happen, because it's such a deep healing process that can really bring out a lot with people that they might not be used to on a day-to-day basis?
Many of us tend to be guarded.
Yeah, I agree with you ladies so much. Great question, Kylie. I do find that honestly, sometimes it takes people years to really open up and like let me see. But I think at every moment we're really being as honest with others as we're being with ourselves. So,
I just got chills when you said that. It's so true.
we very much step forward, protecting ourselves always to some extent. I mean, you can do that with a smile on your face too. You can still smile and like choose not to get close to somebody or to interact. But yeah, I find that we all are trying to live up to this idealistic, perfectionistic version that we believe we're supposed to be. But I think imperfection is really our truest beauty. And so when we kind of step forward with that vulnerability, this is what I'm learning. I'm still learning to practice it too. So I think we kind of have to be the example of what we believe in. I'm sorry. So I'm always learning that too. I'm not going to lie. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm not willing to not try. But when you lead with vulnerability, that's actually your strength. It doesn't mean you're not asking for pity or sadness or sorrow, and your wounds don't have to be how you present yourself to the world. But you also can't always exhibit just the false strength, just taking the selfies on a good day, guilty. But you know what I mean? Like, that's not really honest about who you are. You're just showing the world a version of who you want them to see you as.
Kristen, that is so good. And that totally goes along. I'm sorry for interrupting. Like I was just like jumping, like I was wanting, and I had to hold back. I'm sorry. I have like interruptions. But I wanted to mention that what you said earlier, being real and authentic, that is being real and authentic. And I think the more that we learn and grow in that area, the more that not only for ourselves and for others and for our actions, that is, however you phrase that, that was so well the way you put that. You just phrased that so well. I can't repeat that.
Well, and I think it's interesting too, how when you started talking about bioelectric therapy, it's a much deeper therapy than even, a nice massage. And personally, when I go to the, like a hand and stone or something, I request the deep tissue massages because I feel like I get like that kind of that reset that you were talking about. I walk out and my muscles are just like, okay, we can take on whatever the world throws at us. But if you can go even deeper than that, that just shows you that there is so much more to us that is there, but also maybe needs to be worked through. And kind of everything that you've been saying is like what Mom kind of said with the holistic care, and being willing to take that step to realize, like, we all have those vulnerabilities and those things that actually make us more make us have more in common with each other than I think most people even realize. I think that's really interesting.
And on top of that, then also to go with that is when we more grow and learn in that for ourselves, the more it allows and has others being more maybe open and comfortable to opening up more in that area for them, like being open to that more, being real as well, or being vulnerable as well, realizing, oh, wow, if, you know, it's a trust thing there also that's going on when you have those interactions. When we can be real and authentic with someone else, it kind of creates an atmosphere of them being more comfortable to be real and authentic as well. Seeing that we're not perfect. None of us are perfect, even if we try to be.
Well, and
We show that.
I I think that that is a really great like circle to finish off this last question um, of how do I bring, how do I see my vision for my company as helping Park County?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, people really, they open up to me a lot and they tell me things that they maybe don't share with a lot of other people. And it's really an honor to be the person that they feel comfortable enough to like share their either deepest pains or joys or anything in between, right?
Yeah. And
Mhm.
that has to do
But
with trust.
well, and I think it's about connection, right? It's about feeling connected. And one of the things that brought me back to Park County is I really loved the sense of community I had here growing up and having so many aunts and uncles and cousins, if you will, or, brothers and sisters, however, like
Mhm.
12 of us that started kindergarten together graduated high school together. Or that's the number I remember. Someone else might fact check that and tell me I'm wrong. But anyway, 12 out of 34, I think, is also what I remember. We started kindergarten together. Like,
Yeah.
that's unique. And I think connection is what makes people feel comfortable and confident to do and be who they really are. And that's where I see southparkevents.com. And that's why I reached out to you, because you already have this thing that's going to bring people together. It's going to cause connection. And and when we feel connected, we feel united, we feel stronger. And that's, if I can help my community in any way, it's through connection, it's through strength. It's let's offer our best selves to each other, because why the why not? I guess
Yeah.
I won't drop an
Yeah.
F-bomb there, but I wanted to.
Insert here. Yeah. So Kristen, with that, who, when you think about your journey, who or what was kind of your greatest inspiration for going down this path? Or was there a person that was kind of that linchpin or that pinnacle point that kind of made you, think about things differently? Or was there an experience that happened that inspired you to move this direction?
Just one quick thing to go back to the other before you answer that question, only because I want to affirm, I'm sorry, we're just going to, this is flexible, but we're just going to, I want to just mention that I know you as a person to know, Kristen, that you would be so trustworthy. Like when people do open up to you and when you have your sessions, I just want to confirm for anybody listening to this or being a part of this, that you are awesome at being someone to just open up to and be able to be, have a relationship with, and knowing you're very trustworthy to not let it go beyond that session. So I think most people that work with you or anybody that works with you would see that, but I just want to verbalize that so it's known that you are a safe zone, a very safe and real, genuine zone to be able to be open with and spend time with and share. So
Thank you.
yeah, so
Thank
go
you.
on to the question.
And
Sorry to interrupt there, but let's go on to Kylie's question.
it's okay. Yeah, I would say that I actually do get that feedback as well, Judy, that
I'm not
people do
surprised.
trust me. And also, I've been told it feels good to be able to express myself and not feel judged, because
Hmm,
that's not my
Mm.
place here. I'm
absolutely.
not here to judge you.
And
I'm here to help you navigate how those feelings are affecting you.
and
And
that's
so it's different.
And that's what I feel. At times, there have been a couple times you have worked on me, Kristen, and that is absolutely, as a person, I know that, and even in working with you, I completely experience that.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the.
So with that, I would say that I've had a lot of support on my journey. And so my family, definitely, I have incredible mom and dad who really just keep telling me, and they've never stopped, just do what makes you happy.
Mhm.
And we love you regardless of what that is or who that is. And so that's helped. Also, I started seeing Julia from Fair Play Therapy Center, Julia Anderson, when I was about, I think, 14 or 15. I saw her for the first time.
Mhm.
And she's always been somebody to push me. She saw some of my natural gifts and talents at an early age, and it kind of freaked me out at first, to be honest. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to go there. Like, but she's continually been somebody that's helped me along my path, who's used intuition and really trying to come from a heart-centered place to help people feel better.
Mhm.
And I've also spent a lot of time studying people who work with personal growth and development. It's always just fascinated me. So, like, I've been a member of Mind Valley. I can send you guys a link to some of this stuff if you want to check it
Okay.
out later. But Mind Valley is an incredible platform that offers all sorts of programs for no matter where you're at in your personal development journey. But they help you be more clear, more authentic. Abraham Hicks, when I probably started listening to their stuff 2007, 2008. So I kind of feel like this path chose me. And so it's been full of inspiration. And even when I tried to abandon it, which I did many times, there was always kind of like one of Earth's angels, every once in a while, they just say that thing that hits you at the core, whether it hits you in that moment in a positive way or a negative way. It strikes you, and it makes you reconsider and take perspective. And I've definitely been guided a lot on this journey. So.
Oh, that's great.
Thanks for sharing that. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see. Before I go on to the next question, I'm thinking is the nonprofit. Wasn't there one particular nonprofit, or were there several nonprofits that you were a part of?
Yeah, yeah, I was working with BIMWA, which is Big Mountain Animal Wild Animals Sanctuary. Sorry, BIMWAs. We just kind of made it an acronym. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Anyway, not a grammar major here. Good with my hands, not a grammar major. But and they ended up partnering with the Middle Way, which is a really great nonprofit here in Park County.
Yeah.
And they work with veterans and anyone who wants to learn horses, but they especially make it available to veterans and kids with disabilities because of the awesome connection you get with the horse. And it gives you an opportunity to learn to trust something that is obviously far bigger than you.
Mhm.
And a lot of us need that lesson. And so I just really love what they offer. And
And they're on the
but
website.
go
I
ahead.
remember I looked just to throw that in there. They're on the website also to be able to find. I know Middle Way we have on there. I'm not familiar with that other one you said, but Middle Way is on there. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that they've combined. So at this point, supporting Middle Way is also supporting
Okay.
BIMWA, and they just help to find, like, if there are animals that are in need of care, they do their best to find resources to help those, whether they be horses or at one point we had quite a cat village of our own down in Guffey. This Bimwa was started by a beautiful woman named Mary Kalani down out of Guffey. And she's helped all sorts of animals. When we took it over, it kind of became more about horses, just because that was the passion with the people who took over. But yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing that.
Wow.
'Cause I was kind of curious on that.
Mhm.
Okay, so switching a little bit of gears, a little bit in the gears. What is your favorite? What's your favorite activity to do in South Park, or a favorite memory of growing up in South Park? So what stands out to you that you'd like to share?
Um, Really, I just love all the open spaces we have here
Mm,
and how, if I drive 30 minutes to a like trailhead or a destination, that's a long drive. I can probably pick like 5 trails within 10 minutes of my house or less. And I can be lost out in those woods for hours. And there's really no lost in I mean,
is that something
yes,
you
you
feel
can
like?
get lost in the woods, but I'm not going to get lost. I just like being out with the
Yeah.
trees and the flowers. And like I'm going cross country skiing. That's probably we have a lot of winter up here. So I get to do a lot of cross country skiing and I really enjoy it.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, there's plenty of area to do whatever you want outside in different.
And plenty of snow too. Like you said, we have a lot of winter.
We do. There is lots of snow out there. I've learned that I don't mind living in the cold, but I don't really like to be cold. So it's about
Mm.
learning how to layer properly. Like I'd rather be a little on the hot side because you can always like scale down.
That's me
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
hmm So I'm okay living in a cold place as long as I know how to stay warm.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense.
So
So, and then I guess
Awesome.
unless there's anything else that either one of you have that Kristen, that you'd like to include, or Kylie, if you have a question that you thought of, we want to be sure to mention how people can contact you, what's the best way to, or if there's any kind of involvement. It seems like, as far as the nonprofit, how anybody can be involved in a nonprofit, I think basically the answer, and if it's different than this, let me know. But I think if they go into the nonprofit, the middle way on the website, they'll be able to find more information on how to get involved there. And then as far as your work, what is the best avenue or the best avenues to be able to contact you? And especially once you get up and going on your, question, what are you doing until it starts on February? Are you doing work right now between now and February when you actually get your place going? Or so
mhm,
people can contact you now and still be able to schedule appointments? Okay.
yeah,
All right. So there's my very long, extended, disjointed question.
no problem. Um, so I want to just add one more thing. Amazon Smile has a really great thing. I know for a lot of
Mm.
people who live in the mountains, we probably overuse Amazon. Well, the post office might think that they are angels for all the hard work they do
Oh,
there. I think
yeah.
anyone would agree to that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, Amazon Smile is great because if you log in under Amazon Smile, you can look for nonprofits that are in your community. And when you make purchases, they potentially have kickbacks for those nonprofits.
Oh, yes.
So I know the Middle Way is signed up on that. And I think there's other nonprofits in Park County that are also under the Amazon Smile.
Oh, good.
So just for the community's sake, take
Yeah.
a look at that if you didn't know it exists.
Good to know.
And the Middle Way is pretty good. They have a mailing list, like an email mailing list, as well as updating their events on their website. So clicking on their website is definitely the best way to reach them.
Okay.
The best way to get in touch with me right now, until my space is finished, I'm continuing to rent a room out of the Fair Play Therapy Center. So that's where I see clients now. And so that way, nothing's really changed until you can find me at 1245 Costello is going to be my new office space, hopefully available in February. It is directly next to the car wash, the same side of the street, across from Al Sawinski's Freelance Foundation lot and or Doug Tilley. They're both I'm kind of right on the border of their properties there across. You're headed to the county buildings.
Okay.
And best way to see what I offer and what I do, my website is still always kind of in construction, but you can find me at transcendingthenow.life. I like the .life because I think that's what we're here doing, living.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, don't forget not .com, .life, transcending
.life.
the now. And emails are not a bad way to get in touch with me, but the best is probably a phone call or a text message. I like that you maybe have taken a look and know what you're looking for when you reach out to me, because I am a one lady show. But if you take a look at my website and know what you're interested in, then get in touch with me at 970-481-8441. We can always put that in writing somewhere. But yeah, that's the best way to reach me.
Great. Terrific. And
Yeah, that's great.
do you have, I'm sure all the pricing and everything is on the website too. Any other information that people want to know? If you have any specials or anything like that going on, that the website would have all that. Or is there anything in particular you want to mention right now that might be some kind of special or some kind of thing that you have?
I don't really have any specials going on, but if somebody sees this and that's how they hear about me, I'd be happy to offer 10% off of their next service. And I guess I wasn't really thinking that far ahead. I don't usually do specials.
Okay.
But
I didn't know, and we didn't even think to ask that till just now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, all my prices are listed on my website. If there's a service that like every once in a while I get a request for a 2-hour massage, I can definitely do that, but I don't advertise it.
Okay.
So if it's, obviously therapeutic and within reason, I will entertain and give you a price point for what you're looking for. Like I do house calls as well. And
okay.
And that's also listed on my website as mobile massage. So that's a nice feature for some people. I can show up at their house.
Yeah.
They get to experience their massage, and then I just kind of Mary Poppins my way out of there, and they're left in their jammies and with a smile on their face. So
go anywhere.
Don't have to go anywhere. So yeah, there's a little service fee for that, but most people really don't mind. They like the luxury of having someone come to them.
I can buy, yeah, and their comforts of their own home. That makes a difference too. So
now, if you're like a busy mother of 5, that might not be a comfortable place for you, but if it might also be, right? Like I have people on both ends of the spectrum. So
that's a good point though. You might want to try and have a getaway versus being in your own home and then go back to the chaos of your home.
To each their own.
Right.
Yep.
So awesome. One other thing though too, before we do wrap it up, is there anything that comes to mind that we didn't talk about or anything that wasn't said that might be helpful for people within the community to know about? Anything at all that comes to mind?
If I were to add one more thing, I would just add that what's important to me is standing behind my work and really offering someone the best opportunity to step into the best version of themselves. And I find that is often a commitment. And so, I definitely offer packages. I've got at least 5-pack on my website, but I'd be happy to do more. And with a bigger commitment, you get a bigger discount. But when I get to work with somebody on kind of a more regular basis and really get to know them and their body and their stuff, it allows for the transformation that most people are looking for. Because when you come in and you're in a lot of pain, I'm going to help you get out of that pain. But if you don't make some little shifts in your life, they can be baby steps. I'm going to end up seeing you again for that same pain. And I don't really get much joy out of that. Like, I don't like to be the 911 call, you know?
Yeah.
And it makes sense that I'm glad you brought that up, because that makes sense that there'd be a process many times too. It wouldn't be done just in one. I mean, you can get a lot done in one session, but if you really want to get at the core, probably, or if you really want, I'm thinking, if you really want to, you know, deal with the details or the core of what's happening, I imagine that would take time as well. So it's great you offer those bundles, so that it makes sense that there would
Yeah.
be more than one session. In many cases, that would be helpful.
Well, I think it's because every problem is accumulative, right? So like, you didn't get this neck pain, like you really didn't just, you might have gotten the pain overnight, but like the problem started long before there was pain there,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to know that if someone isn't helping you. Sometimes, like, you know how many times I hear, oh, I didn't even know that hurt till you touched it. I hear that a lot. It's true. We kind of just put things behind us, right?
And I think we learn to
But
live with it. We learn to live with them.
you do.
Whatever.
And I like to help people get ahead of their pain. Like, in one session, I can definitely help you feel better. But I don't know if we really resolved or solved anything,
And that
right?
Yep, that makes sense.
So usually in 5 sessions, I say usually 3 to 5, but by 5 sessions, you really know what you're working with, how it's affecting you, and either you feel significantly better or you have reassessed the situation. And that's up to everyone individually, but then you're empowered on how to stay ahead of your pain instead of being kind of enslaved to it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That makes total sense. And then you have the aspect of prevention. If you know and are aware of what you're dealing with, and especially where the core or what's underlying that, then you can practice all the more prevention if you have an awareness of what's happening. That's
Right.
makes total sense. Thanks for sharing that. I think that's important.
That's
To know.
awesome.
Sometimes it's not just going to all be done, and you know, you're hitting the core stuff is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
We're a whole being, body, mind, and spirit. You gotta
it's like
treat the wholeness.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's all together, off of each other, with each other. So,
Ladies, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been such a pleasure to like learn more about you, especially like thank you for starting like when you started growing up in South Park, and now like you are in South Park and what you're doing now, and just seeing your journey and how you want to impact the community is so powerful. So thank you for sharing all of that enlightening information.
And speaking as one of the adults, one of your moms within the community that watched you grow up as being one of the younger ones, I am so proud and have such enjoyment to watch you, to see where you're at now and how you've grown, who you've grown into who you are, and the words are not coming out correctly, but Kristen, it's kind of I remember you as a child, and I didn't know you that well, but to know you as an adult even more so is you shine, and the fact that you take that and share with others is awesome.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much for the compliments, and to both of you, thank you for this platform and this opportunity to just get to express myself. And I'm so elated to see southparkevents.com coming together and with new inspiration and new structure. And I can't wait to see what you guys achieve. So thanks for bringing me along.
Yay. And thanks for being such a for being the instigator, for being the one that got the ball rolling on this.
Anytime you need a little loving poke, you let me know.
I know where to go. Love
or
you.
an elbow.
Yeah, or an elbow.
Hit the elbow.
I'll light it up. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Kristen. It's been so nice. And we'll definitely at the on the website put some spaces where people can just click on to go directly to your website. Go to any social media if you have that available, and then put just more whatever information you feel like would be valuable for people exploring and getting to know more about everything that will be available also. So
Maybe Kristen,
Perfect. Yeah.
if
I'll
you
send an email over with
Yeah.
my with a link to my website, to my social media stuff,
that'd be-
and that's the new address of my business.
that sounds
Yeah.
good. All the contact info you have, send our way and we'll put it on there.
Yeah, I
awesome.
will. I'll send you over an email later today. Thanks, ladies.
All right.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this Featured of the Month. We had a lot of fun filming this video and are looking forward to filming more in the future and interviewing more people and businesses in the future. To stay in touch and get the contact info or any social media accounts for the Featured of this month, look down below this video on the website to find all of that information. And then if you would like to stay up to date with future Featured of the Months, then subscribe to the South Park Events website. There's a subscribe form at the bottom of almost every page on the website. Yeah, so thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the first official video on the South Park Events website. I'm gonna let the